Did they give us a time? What's your name, Doctor?
Huh?
What's your name?
Bobby.
Bobby. Did he say how long we were going to go? There he is. Mario, you producing this segment?
Hey, we're live.
Are we live already?
Yeah.
I know.
But we're on you right now.
We're on me right now.
3, 2, 1, and action.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Get Back Show. My name is JP Green, aka Mr. Mo, who's this guy? AKA Mr. Mo Better. You can find me on Instagram or Twitter as such. And that's it. This is the Get Back Show. And we're all about entrepreneurship on the Get Back Show. And if you look around this table at all this black excellence and these entrepreneurs, these young men that are entrepreneurs out here doing their thing. Yeah, I'm still young. All these young men doing their things in their respective industries. We're going to take our time and we're going to get some introductions and find out who's at the table with us. We're going to start over here.
My name is Adonis Lockett. I am the founder and owner of a real estate tech startup, MyRA360. I am also the owner of a national real estate investment firm, Lockett & Homes. You can find me on Instagram, Adonis Lockett, and you can see the different things that the tech startup and the real estate investment firm got going on.
Who we got next?
I go by the J Clark. Everybody calls me Clark. I'm over business operations over at Elevator Relief. You can follow us at Elevator Relief or follow me at the J Clark on Instagram.
Okay. Who we got up there?
Oh shit.
It work like that sometimes.
My name is Jeffrey Graham. I'm a photographer at Elevator Relief. I have photography now. I've been doing photography for a year.
Who can follow you at?
Oh, follow me at East Coast _ Jeffrey. ID.
Okay, who we got next?
My name is Trey Millie. I am the creative director for a branding and model agency, and you can find me at Nugen Evo, NUGENEVO.
Okay.
How's it going, guys? My name is Jacob Clayton. I am a custom clothing and fashion blogger. You can find me on Instagram at image_ambassador.
All right. And who we got last?
Well,
But not least.
I'm Jody MacArthur. You can find me at Elevator Relief. At the ER Factory, this is what I'm all about.
Hey.
You can follow me personally at Jody MacArthur J on Instagram. That's what it's all about right now. But yeah, Elevator Relief, the ER Factory is all I'm about. That's what I live, breathe, that's what I care about. Yeah.
And that brute.
We celebrate.
So what we talk about on the Get Back Show, we talk about entrepreneurship, and that's essentially what this conversation is going to be about. Some of these guys have been on previous segments, so we're going to get the newbies at the table. There's a couple questions that we ask on the Get Back Show. One is, what does entrepreneurship mean to you, and when was your free fall moment? We're going to start with you.
Entrepreneurship. What it means to me, when I hear that, I kind of think of like, like dollar in a dream. You know, it's somebody that, has a dollar and they try to make a dream out of it pretty much, try to turn that and flip that into as many dollars as possible. And that's kind of how I see that, just somebody on the grind. You know, they don't have much, but they make the most out of what they have. So,
Okay.
And what's it, you said
Your free fall moment. So your free fall moment is defined as that moment you guys are all, you essentially are you've unplugged from the matrix.
Right.
You guys are all involved in entrepreneurship. So at what moment did you decide that you were going to say, hey, I want to pursue this, I'm just going to jump and I'm going to do it?
Right. Well, I would have to say that happened about a year ago. Eventually you get tired of working for somebody else, waking up on their schedule. So I'll say about a year ago, kind of happened for me. It's kind of, you got to take that jump. You got to stop being scared. Just get out there and get it. So about a year ago, it happened for me. So.
All right. What about you, my man?
Me, that's just me working for myself. Like, I hated a 9 to 5. Hated it, literally. It wasn't even a 9 to 5 for me. It was like 9 to 11 every day, Monday through Friday. I was working so hard. It was unappreciated. My bosses threw me more work the better I did. It was like, hey, come on, you keep up. You got this. Hated it. To the point where she gave me so much work that I couldn't manage it. She fired me. And I told her, I was like, your company's going to fail. 2 months later, she quit. Got all into it.
Yeah.
Then and that's when I took my jump. Once I got fired, I'm going to photography full time. I was practicing month after month. I was like, you know what? Started hitting up more companies, found Elevated Relief, spotted me out, gave me a job, got my own studio now, and I've been pushing ever since.
You're rocking, huh?
Mm-hmm.
What about you, my man?
For me, entrepreneurship would probably be, just being able to be independent and pursue your passions, and also gain a monetary benefit from it. My free fall moment began probably in like 9th grade, man. I started doing graphic design and photography in high school. I never really worked a real job. I've always been in my industry, I've always wanted to benefit and learn from my job. So it's just continuous, man, and just trusting the process and, just following your dreams.
What you got, Mr. Clay?
Let me talk about that free fall moment real quick, and this is something that you touched on in another segment, and that is that it's not something that you can prepare for, and I don't think that's something that a lot of entrepreneurs understand. A lot of people are always waiting for the perfect time to leave their job, and that time will never come, right? You're literally just gonna have to do it like everybody said. People are always waiting until they save enough money. They're always waiting until it's almost like they're waiting for the stars to line up before they leave their job, and that's literally never going to happen. Mm-hmm. So it's either you take the chance or you don't. But we all have these thought limiting beliefs, and it's something that we all have, even us at this table. And when we have a great idea or a great concept, we unconsciously talk ourselves out of them. We'll tell ourselves that we don't have enough money, we don't have enough experience, we don't have the right resources, we don't have the right network, right? And eventually, we'll move away from that idea that we once had, right? So I think that words of affirmation are important, and I think that just taking chances and taking a risk is important too, because the time's never going to be right. It's just something that you have to do.
Another thing that I think a lot of people don't really understand how important it is a solid support system. And I'm gonna tell you, if I had to deal with it, at some point it was my mom, at some points it was my family, at some points it was my friends, and at other points it was complete strangers, who happened to see me, moping at a bar. And I'm gonna tell you, identify who your support system is going to be, because when you have nothing left, when you have nothing to give, when you are literally just at the moment where it's like it just doesn't make sense to keep going forward, you need someone to tell you, hey man, this is part of it. Whether they've experienced it or not, you need someone to be like, hey, financially, emotionally, spiritually, religiously, whatever it is, I support you and you can see it through. And it's the most challenging part of entrepreneurship is having to face it alone, because you can be your biggest motivator, and on the opposite end of that, you can be your worst enemy. So make sure that there's someone to talk you off the ledge, because you'll really go to value and appreciate that person in hindsight when you hit those moments of, I can't do it, I can't afford it, and I can't stomach it anymore.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest. I go back to the first episode. The first episode was a cosign edition, and that we were actually just audio only. But it was back in February, and I have been going like back and forth with the podcast and the radio show for like the last 3 or 4 years. I've got notebooks full of ideas, topics, different things like that. But I say that I'm commuting home. I'm on my way home on the bus. It had been raining like 30 days, 30 night type rain in the Metroplex. Like it was torrential downpour, man. It was flooding. I thought, we thought we was at the end around here, and so I was on my way home, and I was literally talking myself out of the show. Like, what if nobody shows up? And just the fear starts to rise. And all of the what ifs and the possibilities, and what could happen, all of that started just really becoming a detractor from what was ahead of me on the next day, because this was the night before, and then woke up Saturday morning, and lo and behold, it was like Noah's Ark rain going on the next day. Like I literally Like literally, I felt like it was getting rained down. I'm like, you know, Lord, I know black folks and nobody about to show up in this rain because it's raining hard. Ain't nobody coming out in this rain. But I had to get to the point though that on the way home the night before and even that morning, I got to the point where I said, you know what? I don't care if I'm the only person that shows up, me and the engineer. I'm gonna do this show. And I did 2 shows that day. I was in the studio from 1 till 6 that day. I recorded 2 shows. And it was with 2 2-hour shows and photo shoots in between both. And so it was that moment where I had to make up in my mind it didn't matter. Like he said, it didn't matter. But also, I did something that Adonis spoke to. I picked up the phone and I called a couple of the homies that were already entrepreneurs. And they were like, dog, you know, it's your show. If nobody show up, it don't matter. As long as you there, you got to make sure the show go on. So, you know, and to have like-minded people, we talked about that earlier. It is important to surround yourself with like-minded people when it comes to entrepreneurship, because you're going to have those dark days. You're going to have lean days and fat days, and you need that. How have you, Jody, I know that your story is phenomenal. Through everything that you went through, how have you been able to traverse this terrain, like this journey that you've been going on during entrepreneurship?
I wanted to wait. I wanted to let everybody get their thing. Y'all know I'm lit tonight. But, yeah, my free fall moment, like, was I was 23 and I retired from the military. And I retired from the military at 23 years old, so I was a 100% disabled veteran. I ain't got to work another day in my life. And that was the worst moment of my life. That was like some of the worst times of my life, because I had everything that I wanted, but I was not happy at all. It was ridiculous. Like, I ain't want for nothing, but I was just like, I don't know what to do. Nothing made sense, like none of that. And that's what kind of spurred me towards this. Like, so that happened. I'm married and divorced. I'm 26 years old. Been married and divorced already. 4 concussions and a coma later. I'm here. But yeah, so I was 23, retired. I'm good. I got a whole house, all that. Like, I'm chilling. But it's like, that's when I went to rehab. That's when I went through the worst times of my life, because like, you have everything, but you're not happy, and you don't know what to do. That's when it's the worst time, when you have everything that you want. Wow. She's like, bro, what's going on? Like, I'm still not happy. Like, every night when I go to sleep, it don't make any sense. And that's what kind of me and my homeboy, like, I had nothing but time on my hands. So we started coming up with this logo, the first Elevated Relief logo that I made. That's why I seen that on that door today, y'all. I almost cried. I was like, man. But not real talk, like, I wrote that so many times. I used to just keep doing it, and I was like, my whole thing, my mom always taught me the true measure of success is based off the people next to you, not you. So if you can elevate somebody else in your life, you can put them in a different place, and you've actually made it. If you can actually bring somebody else up, anybody can look out for themselves. It's very easy, you know what I'm saying? Because I made it to that point. But like, actually helping somebody else, that puts you in a place. So I just started wanting to create this idea where having a place where everybody can just eat. Everybody eats beef. Like, that's my favorite thing that P. Diddy was saying. Like, for real, like, for real, real talk. So I wanted to make a place for that for everybody. And shout out to my boy Mario, my boy Jeff. Jeff, bro, I'm getting sidetracked. But Jeff, he started off with, it was another photographer that used to shoot me. And he was like, man, can I bring Jeff along? Like, you know what I'm saying? He's good. And the other photographer not even here with me to this day. Because Jeff, like, he just kept eating. Like, for real, like, he kept learning. It used to be a point, Jeff he wouldn't get in the dirt to take a shot. Now he be on his stomach. he be trying to get that shot, you know what I'm saying? But I wanted to pretty much make a spot where, like, everybody can pretty much get their creative dream out. That's why our slogan is, what's your relief? Like, whatever you love to do, we can find a place for that and monetize it in a way. Because, I mean, that's what it's about. If you can do what you love, like, I wake up when I want to. For like 10 months, I've been working hard, and I don't know, y'all. I'm everywhere right now, but it's came to a head. Like,
what does your company do?
What do we do?
Yeah, I don't think we got the rundown of what exactly you guys do.
Yeah, he done did some couple interviews with me. I don't know. Somebody gotta ask me right, because I'm gonna be everywhere. But
give us the elevator pitch.
So pretty much when you walk into these doors from start to finish, it's a one-stop shop. So from creating your logo to getting a picture done for your logo to the brand strategy to the strategically planning the way we're going to market your logo and your company, keeping the actual brand image. You know, you got to have brand consistency. So if you're going to be about something, we got to keep that. So basically when you come in here, you don't gotta leave. We got a production studio, photography studio, because I wanted to make a co-working space. Everybody got a co-working space. We work at everything, but I gave it a direction. My mom always taught me, if you spread your energy, I love to do a lot of things. If you spread your energy out in every direction, it's weak in every area. If you focus in on one, you can make it something. So I wanted to focus this on creativity, because whether you're a lawyer, a big business, no matter what it is, you're gonna need this creative thing. You're gonna need either a logo, you're gonna need to do a photo shoot, you're gonna need to take a picture or something. Everybody's gonna have to run through this at one point. So I wanted to make a hub for that. So we basically, it's easy for me to tell you what we don't do, but like, we basically do it all, bro. From content creation, social media deployment, web design, app design, live stream. Everything that you need to create something on the creative side, we make it happen. Basically, we even got a recording studio. So
yeah, it's dope, man.
we make it happen, bro. Like literally, y'all just don't know the fact that we all sitting here talking about this trials and tribulations. This boy Trey, it's been like, yeah, y'all don't even know, but it's dope just for all of us to be sitting here right now.
So let me ask you guys.
Anybody need more champagne?
Yes.
He bartending. He's bartending. Let me ask you guys this. What's been your highest moment since you started? Like, what's been your high? Right? You know, we talked about the fat times and the lean times. What's been your highest moment?
I would say owning a model agency, New York Fashion Week was definitely my highest moment, and just seeing like professionals and girls, like, you know, we're a branding and marketing agency for models, not just a marketing agency. So, you know, just seeing all these girls where I wanted to have all of my girls, where, you know, just being in that environment, the fast pace, the action, the designers, the networking, most of all, it's just, the energy is just an all-time high. And I just felt like I had reached a peak, you know, like I'm behind the scenes, I'm behind the stage, I see models running in and out, I see fans clapping, you know, that's just, man, and it's like once all your passions come together in one and you see it actually unfolding in front of your face, that's just, it's just no feeling like it.
What was your takeaway from that?
I saw a lot of people that were here, and I realized I was here. And that's what hurts, you know, because even in Dallas, you feel like you're here, but then you go to New York, where people, you know what I mean, like, you know, so
you feel really little.
Yeah,
right.
New York, bro.
New York changed me. I was stationed there for like 2 years.
You feel really
like,
small.
I came back and I was like, yeah. That's what, bro. You talk too fast. Nah, bro, I don't. You think too slow, bro.
My life.
I'm with you. What's your highest moment, Jeff? We had a dope ass photo shoot.
Highest moment was probably with this model called AJ. She had like 20-something K. Literally, I produced, like, Joe directed it. It was like my highest moment ever. Like the photos, everything,
old school
the
Rolls
edits,
Royce.
everything about it was just so hype for me. Like we had a 1990 Rolls Royce on the set, and I was just like, man, I've never shot with this before. Like
on the roof.
Like I wasn't even a full year in yet. I was excited. I was like, oh man,
That probably cost more than a new one.
yo.
Yeah.
Like I shot everything. We shot on the rooftop. We shot in the alleyway. I was excited. Like I was just like, man, I didn't think I was gonna be here in less than a year. Like I thought it was gonna take me a minute to really get like a legit model with a fan base and everything. Like my picture blew up, like everywhere. I was like, oh my god, I thought this was supposed to be in a magazine. I felt excited myself. I was like, oh, I'm doing it.
So what was your takeaway from that moment?
Like I literally like I didn't do nothing under. I just wanted to go above, kept going higher.
Yeah.
Like reaching out to companies, hire models, like bigger fan base. I'm there. Whatever, like you need a photo taken, I can do it. I believe in myself. Like as long as you got faith, I got faith.
I think for me, my highest moment was when I would go to these trade shows, these national expos, and I meet the people that I've read about, I've seen from the audience, come up to me and say, "Oh, I've heard of you." That is the most impactful, that is the most rewarding feeling. That makes every dollar spent and every hour grinded worth it when the people that you emulate have heard of you and like what you're doing and appreciate your efforts. So the combination of someone calling the office and saying, "Hey, I found you on Google." You follow me? I haven't paid $1 of advertising on Google, but because of the reputation that we've been able to foster over the years through the different real estate communities, now has us funneling and when people search a certain thing regarding real estate on Google, our name pops up on page 2. So the biggest reward is the biggest, most rewarding thing anyone can ever say is to me is, oh, I've heard of you. And that makes everything that we do worthwhile.
I mean, if you can achieve search engine optimization without paying for any marketing or any dollars and be on page 2, you're doing something.
Well, in fairness, my my co-founder is a genius on the tech side, and she made it a point to learn SEO, and she has been just like growth hacking the hell out of the company, figuring out all the proper keywords to have on our site and our interviews. So when this interview goes live, for some reason, 10,000 people will see it. It'll matriculate to the different real estate channels, and then someone will come back and say, hey, I saw the interview of you, insert whatever interview it was. So it's not just by chance that we got here. It's just by having the right people and persons around you who have a different skill set that brings something to the table that can, as he said, just elevate you, your team, and your company to the next level. And one thing I've always learned is that if I'm in the room and I'm the smartest person in the room across the spectrum, I'm in the wrong room. So the fact that these gentlemen, younger than me, older than me, know vastly more than me means that I'm in the right room with the right people.
Yeah, you always want to be in the room where you're challenged. Right. You want to be challenged. I try to be. I like to. All the cats I know are some wolves, man.
Yeah.
Like, if it's 15 of us, I would tell you I'm probably the nicest one out of that group. Like, those cats right there are. But I aspire to, and then my big bro is always, he tell me all the time, he's like, ain't no quitting us, dog. Ain't no quitting us. And, ain't nothing like a good, strong hustle and education combined together. So, you aspire to be like those cats, man. And that's the biggest thing. What was your takeaway, though, Adonis? What's been your takeaway from all of this?
My biggest takeaway after that was the people who you least think you're impacting, you have the biggest impacts in their lives. And one thing that I've heard recently is that the CEO that treats the doorman and janitor the same way he treats his counterpart is the person you want to be around.
Yeah.
So you need to be that person that treats the lowest level, or the people that you think have no value are the people that you don't know you're impacting the most and will be your biggest supporters. And your biggest supporters will be the reason why you succeed. And you'll never know their names, you'll never know who they are, but those people will be the reason why you stay relevant, you stay successful, and you stay in business. So treat everyone with the same respect that you treat your closest counterparts, because the no-name people are the ones that's going to elevate you to anywhere and everything you want to be.
I don't know what's my highest. It happens a lot for me. It happens very often because, like, I don't know. Okay, first putting that sign up on there, that was just crazy to me, y'all. Y'all just don't even know. Those who don't know, I was homeless. I was 12 years old. I'm the youngest out of 4, so I got that Jody baby boy from, like, I love my mama. I was the youngest. But everything from my life, it got hard when I came. So, like, cause I was the 4th baby. That's when we got evicted. That's when we started being like, it was like everything came because of me. So I just tried to make more for somebody else, try to elevate somebody else. But man, when Jeff can hit me up like, man, I gotta shoot, and like at the studio, he can come up here. That's a highest moment. That's a high moment for me. When I called this dude up when I was making this, bro, before anything, and I'll never forget this. I was clearing out the 8th floor. This is like 10 months ago, but when I first got this. And like nobody else, it was just me. I'm moving everything. And I called him, I said, yeah, bro, like I'm working on this little thing, I got this spot, I'm trying to work on it. I was like, yeah, can you come through? Like, yeah, I'll come through right now. I like right now, like you gonna come through? He really came through, and it's like that was just so dope to me. Like, damn, bro, somebody really believe in what I got going on, and he came. He been there
here ever since.
Since day one.
Like, boy.
What else is a hot moment for me, man? I don't know, but my takeaway from it is this right here, what we're doing right now. It's providing an opportunity for somebody else. We sitting here talking right now. I done met Adonis. Oh yeah, we got some. Come on. What's up? Go ahead. I'm gonna be talking on that.
Oh, my man. I think it's important, and this is something that I've learned recently as an entrepreneur, is that we gotta celebrate the small wins, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're all hustlers, we all grind, and we always shooting for the moon. But it's not about being on billboards and magazines and being featured in all these places. Like, one of my proudest moments was when I saw a man walking down the street in one of my suits. You know what I'm saying? And it had my name sewn on the inside of it, right?
Did you stop him?
How'd you know the name was sewn on the inside?
Oh, because I do that. Because I do that. You know what I'm saying? But it's moments like that. It's moments like somebody recognizing you when you go in public, right? I have people stop me all the time and be like, yo, bro, ain't you like Image Ambassador? Like, I follow you on IG. So, you know, that's something that might be insignificant to most people. But unless we celebrate those small wins, y'all, we're literally going to burn ourselves out. And what I'm practicing right now is self-care. Because this entrepreneurship stuff, it's not easy. It's not easy unless you take the time to take care of yourself and you literally get some rest and relaxation. Because I didn't take days off for years and it caught up to me. You know what I'm saying? When you burn yourself at both ends and you feel like you're not doing enough, that can get to you. Like, for real. And it's going to stress you out. You're going to be frustrated. You're going to be angry. So you need to take that time to literally rest and relax, right? And then recover so that you can come back bigger and better than you were before. That's where I am now in my journey. I don't know about y'all, but it's important.
Y'all literally providing that moment for me right now.
I want to ask.
4th of July, I was here.
Bro, dream realize.
I want to ask a question, and not to steal your thunder.
No, you're not stealing my. So, let me preface what you're about to say. We're at the table, and what you guys are doing right now is literally why I started the Get Back Show. The only way the information gets shared is if you all talk and you converse across the table and talk to each other. So I'm just here to drive the conversation. So
it's you know, you mentioned something that when you mentioned about the guy walking down the street and buying a suit, I told him that I'm in the process of buying a handful of suits because I plan to do a lot of press releases and interviews about the tech startup, because I want to really put out there that young black entrepreneurs are able to compete with anyone in the real estate tech, or not even real estate, it's just in the tech startup space. You know, that's a very partitioned space. And the thing that I was more excited about in meeting everyone here, especially this gentleman here, is that I want to support his business. And when I'm doing interviews and someone asks me, man, you look really nice, I want to be able to do a plug for him. And one thing I've learned is that, ironically, the people that are rooting for you verbally aren't the same people that's supporting your business. Ooh. Right? And the thing about it is, you know, it's kind of like a catch-22, because you hear people make comments like, that's why you can't do business with black people. And it's kind of like a communal joke, but the irony is that seems to be a real feeling, and I'll have close friends that'll bypass me to deal with the local realtor, the local lender, and not give me a shot. And my first question to them is, if I've known you for 10 years, why would you not support me? And their response is, oh, I don't like to miss business for pleasure. But to me, you know, so then it becomes kind of a conundrum. Do I really embrace the fact that one of my closest friends would like to avoid doing business, mixing business with pleasure, or do I take one of my closest friends not wanting to support my business? You know, and that's something that, you know, I always wanted to really dive into as a community. We're one of the few communities that will push, oh man, do what you do, but don't ask me to financially support you because I won't. No. I mean, consider how real that statement is, right? So, I kind of want to, I always want to dialogue about the people that love to promote and root for you verbally, but never professionally or financially.
Well, I think that So that'll go in about 5 different, well, more than that, different ways.
You already said it, bro.
Yeah.
But I'll put it to you this way. We spend billions of dollars outside of our own communities.
Right.
Right? And the one thing is I was raised by, my father's a community activist. He lived in South Dallas his whole life. He ran for mayor, ran for city council, he's run for Senate, all of that while living in South Dallas. And I've tried to, for the last few years, I'm like, Dad, you need to move up north, you know. You've given South Dallas, you've given the city, City Hall, like all of my lifetime. You know, it's time for you to like be a grandfather, you know what I'm saying? Because he was out of that, he was gone so much that he was giving so much of himself that he didn't really have anything to give to us. So be a grandfather and enjoy the rest of your life. You've given so much of yourself. Anyway, so I say that to say this, is that if we understood, and that's why he told me at such a young age about us having our own economic base, if we understood the power of our dollar and what it meant to spend it within our communities, then the issues that we deal with as far as socioeconomic change and different things like that, the issues that we deal with, we could be more effective. We could affect power base if we come together. It's a corny line, but you ever seen the movie Soul Food?
Yeah.
Okay. You remember when Mother said, she was like, when her hand is like that, you can't do nothing, but when you bring your fit together, you can strike a mighty blow. But that's what it's like if we're able to pool our revenue and our finances into one area and pour that into our communities, back into our schools. Then education wouldn't be lost in legislation. I mean, man, if there's some IG pages that some of you, I wish I knew them by heart, but you got kids that are 14 graduating from college with masters, 20 years old. I just saw a kid that went into college at like 13 and is like 23 now, has got a PhD. Something like that, crazy. But the point that I'm making is that we run from that conversation because people don't want to have those mirror moments, and it would force them to have to really be honest about it. I think there's a lot of trust issues in the community. There's been some bad business practices. I think that we get away from starting business with purpose. We start with purpose, but we get away from purpose, and we solely focus on profitability.
So you know what I think we should do then? I think that as part of, you know, being, you know, an advocate for the stuff that we're preaching, whenever, so I got a new business card, a new website, I throw a plug to Elevate. And I get a new suit, hey, I like to thank my tailor for providing me the linens that make me, you know, etc. And I think that once I start pushing you to my following and vice versa, then we'll shove it down their throats so much that it's like, hey, if you're not supporting them the way you're supporting me, then you're not supporting me.
That's like literally why I like start like a lot of this stuff, because a lot of verbally they'll be like, yeah, we're behind it, yeah, we're doing, but when it comes to, all right, what can you do here? Then they're very quiet. It's very quiet. And that's literally why I started something like this, because like you gotta make something reasonable. We're an incubator, but we're service-based incubators. Like, man, people doing this event right there, we charge a lot of money for that event space. So I was about to put it out there. It's a good, like, you know, 3 racks for that, just to have an event down there. But people that are coming through here and they have an office here, I help them out as far as on that financial side, because a lot of people don't do it. And contrary, like I am a black man in business. I'm a very young one. My high moments be when they be like, what, you got doing this? I love it, because I'm only 20, so I love it. I live for it. But like a lot of the things, like I like to be known as a business owner, and I happen to be black. A lot of the things, this is something I love to preach to. When a black man graduates from college, it's, oh my God, great job. White man graduate from college, Great job. So what's
It's
next?
expected.
Yes, I want that to be the same thing. Like, we need to strive for higher. Like, it's like we get praised for the littlest things that we do, and I want it to be looked at in that same aspect because we need to strive for more. It's like when you graduate, I'm not saying look at the little things for sure, but what's next, bro?
Yeah.
Like, what's next? They celebrating you because they didn't expect you to be here, but
Right.
like, don't let that stop you from where you're at now. Keep going and keep going. So on 23, I wanted to keep going because it was like, I hate being late. You don't want to box anything in. I am a businessman, period. Regardless of what color I am, what I do, how old I am, what I'm into, everything.
White shirt.
Can we make a toaster, bro?
Oh, my cup.
Please.
He said my cup is
Somebody call it.
Oh, you know what? This is to you, brother.
This is to black excellence.
Yeah.
To elevated relief.
We appreciate
y'all coming
And
out for sure.
Yeah, but before we go off, everybody, where can we find you? Really quick.
On Instagram, Adonis Lockett.
Spell it.
ADONISLOCKETT.
Come on,
Just
man.
like it sounds.
IG DJ.Clark, and also at Elevated Relief.
Stole my thunder. Jody MacArthur J, Elevated Relief, and the ER Factory. It's just now, I guess I know now, all the websites for release, elevatorrelief.com, theerfactory.com.
Mr. Mo Better everywhere. Mr. Mo Better and the Get Back Show everywhere.
East Coast _ Jeff, spelled just like that. Millie MF, MILLIMF, everywhere.
Nutri.
You can find me on IG at Image Ambassador. Now, listen, with Mr., because everybody's gonna follow him, don't do what I did and type in MR, type in MISTER.
Now, let me fix that. MISTAH. If you've seen
That's even worse.
You've seen the color purple. Then you know how to do it. We just want to thank you for joining in. We appreciate all of our guests. And as always, sending all my love to you and our prayers up for you. This has been the Get Back Show. We'll see you in the next one.
Yeah.